Vice News is reporting that border guards in Saudi Arabia seized 48,000 cans of Heineken that were disguised as Pepsi. So what the smugglers did is they put, like, I guess the Pepsi stickers over the Heineken cans, and somehow, I guess, one of the border guards said, it doesn't look right, and he picked it up, and he peeled off the label, and he indeed saw that these were Heinekens. So that's a no-no in Saudi Arabia. Alcohol is a no-no. Vice says, quote, "It's illegal to consume alcohol in Saudi Arabia, and punishments for anyone caught in the kingdom with booze can be quite stiff. In 2014, a 74-year-old British man was arrested and held for over a year after Saudi authorities found him in possession of homemade wine. Good googly moogly." Now, it's not just that either. Like, honestly, I was, like, scared when I read this article earlier, because I'm just waiting for the part where they were like, and the smuggler was sentenced to death. Because, as we've reported on before, you actually do get the death penalty in Saudi Arabia for smuggling in certain kinds of drugs. They've done that. I mean, they'll behead you for almost fucking anything over there. Unfortunately, we've covered the endless stories. They've done over 100 beheadings just this year. They've ramped them up recently. And one of the things was smuggling in so-called amphetamine pills. So in other words, it's like somebody brought Adderall into the country and they were like, death penalty. Which is lunacy. But I guess, I don't know why, when it comes to alcohol, they're like, well, you know, just a long jail sentence instead of beheading. That's their version of liberalism. They're like, okay, we're not going to kill him. Just give him a few years in jail or something for bringing in the Heinekens. So this is mind-blowing, especially in the Western context, but one of the main reasons I wanted to talk about this, though, is, guys, think about how we do this with marijuana, you know? Like, we find it just unbelievable that somebody would be put in jail for Heinekens, for alcohol. What are you, crazy? You know, no problem with it. We got alcohol all over the place here. Yeah, but it's just as crazy, if not more crazy, to lock somebody up for marijuana, because objectively, scientifically speaking, alcohol's worse for you than marijuana. So we take the drug that's not even as bad for you and we put you in jail for it. So when people smuggle in weed and you know, you got a big shipment of it and you got the pictures with the law enforcement officials that have it and they're smiling and like, yeah, we caught him. Like, that's fucked up, man. Don't get me wrong. This is fucked up too. I'm in no way giving Saudi Arabia a pass. This is ridiculous. And they're in many ways way more draconian, obviously. But, I mean, it should be the case that when we're talking about substances, since the overwhelming majority of substance users are not abusers, and they can take it moderately and go about their day and live their lives, why should we just have these blanket rules like, I'm gonna throw you in jail if you're caught with one of these things? Fuck you! Who are you? That's an insane way of thinking that is fundamentally anti-freedom, and you can't say I'm in favor of freedom and then say lock people up for substances. That's crazy. And then also, final thing I'll say is, so this is religious. Now, I'm not sure whether it's in the Quran or the Hadith where it's against alcohol, but I heard an interesting speech given by Majid Nawaz, who's a liberal secular Muslim. He's a reformer, where he said stuff like this particularly frustrates him because there's other ways of interpreting those passages that are so much more benign. Now, obviously, as somebody who's an agnostic atheist, I throw out the passages for all the holy books and laugh at them because I think they're stupid and wrong. They're just not true. But he says, the tools are there already to not live this way, because technically the way it's worded, again, I don't know whether it's the Quran or the Hadith, so forgive me, but they say, you know, you can't drink a very specific kind of wine. And I don't remember exactly what he said. Like, it might have been a wine just made from grapes or whatever. And he says, look, if you interpret that even as literally as possible, that doesn't mean you can't drink alcohol. It just means that very particular kind of wine that existed at the time, that was made the way they made it, you can't drink that. That means that has nothing to do with beer. That has nothing to do with fucking Bacardi 151. It's totally different. So, and anyway, I told that long story to get to the point of, you know, Reformation needs to be pushed 100%, and you got to go full speed ahead, and you have to take these interpretations like that which is a brilliant interpretation, and just hammer it home. And, the argument can't come from people like me, because I'm an atheist, but people need to say, no, government of Saudi Arabia, you are un-Islamic for locking people up for Heineken. Ain't nothing against Heineken in the Quran or the Hadith. Show me where it says it, and they can't point it out. I mean, what are they going to say? Now, don't say that in Saudi Arabia, because they'll probably kill you, but say it from outside of Saudi Arabia. Oh, what? No, but it doesn't say Heineken. Like, it says alcohol, but it doesn't say alcohol. It says that specific kind of wine. That's not all alcohol. So we can win this battle on multiple fronts, and that's another example of it right there.